thank you very much. Everything that I've heard and read, even from legal scholars, said there is absolutely no case here. It's not a crime. This is not a crime. And when you look at what's going on outside of the streets, where violent crime is at an all-time high, I think it's it's a great double standard. The other thing, this case could have been brought 3 years ago. There is no case. They decided not to bring it. The district attorney Bragg didn't want to bring it. He said he doesn't want to bring this case. But it's not a crime. We're here for something that is not a crime. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. What it is election interference. It's being run by Joe Biden's White House. His top person was placed here in order to make sure everything goes right. This is a terrible time for our country. This is a real dark period for our country. His top person, Colangelo and some others, have been placed into the DA's office to make sure they do a good job of election interference. There's never been anything like this in the history of our country.
Donald Trump is drowning in his own insanity, and it's not going to get better, people. He's descending quickly to a point where he will soon call for outright violence and attacks on his political enemies.
Stop the steal! It's our steal! It's our country, we want it back!
He's done it before. Outside the courthouse in Manhattan, Tiny Fingers, facing the first of many trials, will be in court next month in the hush money case, and soon must face the dozens of indictments relating to the insurrection and stolen top-secret documents.
We want delays. Obviously, I'm running for election. How can you run for election and be sitting in a courthouse in Manhattan all day long? I'm supposed to be in South Carolina right now, where other people are, and where, again, this is where I should be. I shouldn't be in a courthouse for something that virtually every legal scholar says they don't understand it, there's no crime. Even if he was guilty of something, there's no crime. So I will say that, enjoy it.
No one is enjoying this, Grandpa. If possible, Trump's mental acuity is becoming worse.
Like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Possibly because Fox News, Nikki Haley, and other Republicans are sensing an opportunity to jump ship before Trump brings them down, too.
Before, when he did it, it was during the 2016 election. Everybody thought, oh, did he have a slip? What did that mean? The problem now is he is not the same person he was in 2016. He is unhinged. He is more diminished than he was.
Trump just left a hearing over his payments of hush money to Stormy Daniels and launched into falsely accusing Biden of directing the prosecution. And then he went even crazier, attacking New York as a dirty city.
There's never been anything like this in the history of our country. With all of this being said, I look outside, I look at the streets. It's so different from when I left New York. It's so different. It's dirty and it's crime-ridden. And today you walk down the street and you get mugged or you get shot. And they're doing this where literally legal experts, legal scholars said they don't understand it. There's no crime. And there was no crime here at all.
Even veteran reporters were stunned at Trump's meandering insanity.
Jesus Christ. I'm going to have to go back and count how many there were.
Trump is attempting to do what he always does. Look over there, ignore right here. For starters, New York City crime rates are much lower than they were in the 80s when Trump lived there. New York of the 1980s and early 1990s, the murder rate was 5 times higher than today, with an average of 6 killings a day. Recent numbers say the murder rate in New York City has plummeted to its lowest level in decades. Trump says the same about D.C. and every city that has a high migrant and minority population. His dog whistle, of course, is assisted by the likes of Sean Hannity.
Not my Valentine. Okay, how about roses are red, violets are blue. People from Iran, Syria, Egypt, Afghanistan, China, and Russia are all here because of you.
But not all of Fox is on board. We'll get to that video in a moment. After Trump helped defeat the border bill, and we'll get to that in more detail, he still tries to use crime by illegals as a campaign issue. Let that sink in. He used his base and influence to keep the border open and now uses crime as a political tool against Biden?
You have a new form of crime now. You have migrant crime. Migrants are trying to beat up our police officers. They're trying to do things that we've never seen before, actually. We are going to have a problem with, I call it Biden migrant crime, because you have millions of people came into this place, this country that has been so badly hurt. And they're doing things that nobody's ever seen before. So you have violent migrant crime and they're after me for doing nothing wrong.
Perhaps Donald Trump's biggest mistake is forcing Mike Johnson to kill the border bill, a bipartisan bill which was supported by the Republican Party to the letter until Trump saw it as a threat to his campaign, is now all but demolished. I mean, the bill had it all. It abolished catch and release, kept immigrants under detention until their asylum request was adjudicated, and when border encounters reached 5,000 in a specific period of time, the border would be shut down. It was naked politics by Trump and elicited negative responses, but not just from Democrats. But Republican senators like James Lankford said, let's act now, and Fox's Brit Hume and Maria Bartiromo all pushed back against Trump's overt and crazy political stunt.
Is it dangerous right now to stop Congress from doing a deal on immigration?
Look, think of what the Republicans are doing, for example, Kevin, on the border issue. They said that they wouldn't pass aid to Ukraine and other places unless there was action on the border. So the Senate produced a bill negotiated by one of its most conservative Republican members on the border, which had some defects in it, as compromise measures always do. And it was nonetheless the strongest border protection bill that I've seen in my time in Washington. And the House simply announced it was not going to take it up, so it failed even in the Senate.
Perhaps the most consistent and strongest sign of Trump's mental illness is his use of junior high nicknames, which in all fairness is exactly what his insane base understands.
Now, you have migrant crime. Migrants are trying to beat up our police officers. They're trying to do things that we've never seen before, actually. We are going to have a problem with, I call it Biden migrant crime.
Trump campaign spokesman said, quote, Nikki, brain dead, bird brain, Haley.
As Trump begins to face the dozens of state and federal indictments in court, he will not quit, and he will never surrender.
We fight like hell, and if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
He's done it once, and he will do it again. And should he have the power of the White House?
And now we're on, as they say, the point of attack, right? The point of attack tomorrow. I'll tell you this. It's not going to happen like you think it's going to happen, okay? It's going to be quite extraordinarily different. And all I can say is strap in.
He'll fight back and use his base to do it. I mean, he's done it once, and he'll do it again. And should he have the power of the White House, where would he stop? It is so important that we all have the facts in front of the American people. And if we have to choose pictures over words for Trumpers, so be it. On January the 6th, a lame duck insane person nearly staged a successful coup. Adrian, go! Let's do it! He's not ahead in the polls, like he says, and a conviction seems to make his chances a distant possibility. But honestly, back in 2015, could you have predicted any of this? Follow, subscribe, and hit notifications so Really American can keep you up to date on the Republican cult and the lies and obfuscations. Join us and let us know what you think. For Really American, I'm Chip Franklin.
Who's with me?